Hey guys, James from the Research Revolution. Check this out. This just broke. FBI probes newly discovered Hillary Clinton emails found during investigation into Anthony Weiner's sexting as Trump hails new bigger than Watergate. So they're reopening, the FBI is reopening the Clinton probe. Which is weird because, just really quick, I wanted to show you. I went to the FBI yesterday and I said, hey, can you please help? Do something about this corruption. We the people. I didn't actually go inside the building. I didn't have an appointment, but I just thought that was funny. Anyway, let me read the article. FBI reopens Clinton email investigation. New emails discovered during probe into Anthony Weiner's sexting. Too early to say if emails significant or how long probe will take. Hillary Clinton, those emails, and the whiff of scandal that won't go away. The FBI is reopening the investigation into Hillary Clinton's use of private email system as Secretary of State, sending her campaign into panic mode just 11 days before the presidential election. Donald Trump called the stunning announcement bigger than Watergate, and Mrs. Clinton appeared blindsided by the news, declining to mention it during a rally in Iowa. James Comey, the FBI director, who wrote to members of Congress informing them that new emails had been found that were pertinent to the investigation into Mrs. Clinton. Hillary Clinton with her aide, Huma Abedin. He said the emails were recovered during an unrelated probe, and would be reviewed to determine whether they contain classified information or could shed new light on the case. The emails were found during an investigation into illicit text messages between Anthony Weiner and former Congresswoman and 15-year-old girl, according to the New York Times. Huma Abedin, Mr. Weiner's husband, is one of Mrs. Clinton's closest aides. Oh my gosh, I didn't know that. Mr. Comey had closed the investigation into Mrs. Clinton's email practices in July after determining that there was insufficient evidence that she had knowingly put America's secrets at risk by using an unsecured server to conduct government business. Mr. Comey said at the time that Mrs. Clinton had been extremely careless, but that no criminal charges were warranted. That's Anthony Weiner. So apparently he's married to that chick on the left. Yeah. They got a real happy relationship, happy marriage. Mr. Trump spoke in New Hampshire just minutes after the announcement, and his supporters roared and broke into chants of "lock her up" as he relayed the news. He applauded the FBI for having the courage to reopen the investigation and said he hoped the agency would correct the horrible mistake it had made in recommending that Mrs. Clinton not be indicted. Hillary Clinton's corruption is on a scale we have never seen before. We must not let her take her criminal scheme into the Oval Office, the Republican nominee said. Miss Clinton and her inner circle were all on board a plane and without internet access when Mr. Comey's letter emerged. Reporters on board said her staff was unaware of the news before landing in Iowa for a rally. The Democratic nominee remained on the plane for 25 minutes after landing, apparently huddling with staff to determine how to respond. She did not address the revelations after taking the stage. 11:06 p.m. Barack Obama takes the stage in Orlando. The current president is speaking in Florida in support of the woman he hopes will follow him into the White House. It will be interesting to see how he handles the breaking news from Mr. Comey. his own administration's FBI director. Thus far, he has followed Mrs. Clinton's lead in ignoring it altogether. I've got one more campaign left in me. Michelle and I have a little more work left to do, he says. I still need to rip off some folks. You know, he always throws that folks in there. Happening now. Obama rallies for Hillary Clinton in Orlando, Florida. That's from Josh Letterman on Twitter. 11 p.m. Hillary Clinton back on the stump. The former Secretary of State is speaking in Iowa and is again ignoring the elephant in the room. Donald Trump says he can still win, and he's right. This has been such an unusual election. I don't take anything, any place, or anyone for granted, she says. 10:54 p.m. Trump writes a check. Donald Trump has said today that he contributed another $10 million to his campaign. Jim Acosta in New Hampshire. Trump says he wrote a check for $10 million to campaign. That would bring his total contributions over the course of the election to $66 million. $66 million. You got that number? Not exactly small change, but also not quite the $100 million he has said he will have given by Election Day. It comes a day after he was badgered by Donna Bash, the CNN reporter, over whether he was willing to reach into his own pockets to help narrow the funding gap with Miss Clinton. 10:40 p.m. Clinton's spokesman, the FBI, already looked at Aberdeen emails. Brian Fountain, a Clinton spokesman, said the FBI already reviewed at all of the emails between Huma Abedin and Hillary Clinton during its investigation. He says the Clinton camp has no idea what the new emails that Mr. Comey referred to in his letter could contain. He also told CNN that it would be unfortunate if the FBI were caving into pressure from Republicans in reopening the investigation, and called on Mr. Comey to hold another press conference. What we're engaged in now is outright speculation. You know who is the only person who could clear this up? Jim Comey. Brian Fallon tweeted, both campaigns now agree Director Comey needs to put forward more information about what prompted this letter to GOP chairman. 10:10 p.m. Markets spooked by Clinton's October surprise. The fresh twist in the election race spooked the U.S. markets in the final hours of trading before the weekend. The U.S. dollar slumped compared to major currencies, including the sterling, euro, and yen. At the same time, stock prices plummeted in a knee-jerk reaction to the latest blow to Hillary Clinton's election campaign, before recovering some ground to close only slightly lower by the final bell. The sterling climbed against the U.S. dollar to highs of 1.2209 before casing back to 1.2188 by the end of the day, or 0.12 PC stronger. At its lowest point, the Dow Jones Industrial Index fell 0.85% to below 18 but the close of trading, it had recovered to... Alright. Meanwhile, nervous U.S. investors took refuge from the afternoon's volatility by piling into safe haven assets such as gold and the Japanese currency, which tend to retain value even amid market turbulence. As a result, the dollar retreated from an earlier show of strength against the yen, slipping. The gold price surged from modest gains of around $2 before the FBI announcement to $8 higher at $1,276 an ounce by the end of the day. In the wake of the FBI email announcement, stocks fall sharply. As I said before, markets hate the idea of a Trump presidency. That's from Justin Wolfers. I don't know who Justin Wolfers is. Biden not interested in Clinton being Clinton's Secretary of State. The vice president has reportedly said he is not interested in serving a potential Hillary Clinton administration. I don't want to remain in the administration, Mr. Biden told Minnesota television station KBJR on Friday. I have no intention of staying involved, but I'll help her if I can in any way I can. 8:52 p.m. John Podesta. FBI announcement extraordinary. The Clinton campaign chairman has demanded the FBI provides more information about the new investigation with the following statement. Upon completing this investigation more than 3 months ago, FBI Director Comey declared no reasonable prosecutor would move forward with a case like this and added that it was not even a close call. In the months since, Donald Trump and his Republican allies have been baselessly second-guessing the FBI and, in both public and private, browbeating the career officials there to revisit their conclusion in a desperate attempt to harm Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign. FBI Director Comey should immediately provide the American public more information than is contained in the letter he sent to 8 Republican committee chairmen. Already, we have seen characterizations that the FBI is reopening an investigation, but Comey's words do not match that characterization. Director Comey's letter refers to emails that have come to light in an unrelated case, but we have no idea what those emails are, and the director himself notes they may not even be significant. What is going on? It is extraordinary that we would see something like this just 11 days out from the presidential election. The director owes it to the American people to immediately provide the full details of what he is now examining. We are confident this will not produce any conclusions different from the one the FBI reached in July. 8:34 p.m. White House. Nothing has happened that would change Obama's view of Clinton. The president is standing by his former Secretary of State. 8:22 p.m. Newly found emails in FBI probe, not on Clinton's server, discovered during Anthony Weiner's sexting probe. The newly discovered emails were found on a separate device during an unrelated probe, a U.S. government source has told Reuters. The new emails were discovered during a probe into the Anthony Weiner sexting case, the New York Times reported. 8:13 p.m. Clinton ignores FBI email investigation. Speaking in Iowa, Miss Clinton made no reference to the latest FBI investigation. She delivered her standard prepared campaign speech in which she said Mr. Trump was trying to keep women, young people, and minorities from voting in the November election. Mr. Trump's scorched earth strategy is the last refuge of bankrupt candidate, she claimed. They couldn't give us a more weak, corrupt, just horrible candidate. 7:48 p.m. Republican National Committee statement on FBI announcement. What's indisputable is that Hillary Clinton jeopardized classified information on thousands of occasions in her reckless attempt to hide pay-to-play corruption at her State Department. This only should be disqualifying for anyone seeking the presidency, a job that is supposed to begin each morning with a top-secret intelligence briefing. Give me a break. 7:35 p.m. See how they're making you mad. This is all engineered. 100%. 7:35 p.m. U.S. stock prices fall after FBI announcement. U.S. stock prices fell along with U.S. Treasury yields at mid-session on Friday after the FBI news. The U.S. dollar slipped against major currencies such as the euro and the yen, while the Mexican peso fell into a 11-day low. The FBI spent about a year investigating Clinton's use of an unauthorized private email server for her work as Secretary of State between 2009 and 2013. after it emerged that there were classified government secrets in some of her emails. In July, the FBI characterized Clinton's handling of classified information via email as extremely careless. But after a months-long investigation, it recommended that no criminal charges be brought. Okay, that just doesn't make any sense whatsoever, but that's there to piss you off. 7:10 p.m. State Department says ready to cooperate on new Clinton emails. The U.S. State Department has said it will cooperate with an FBI investigation covering additional Clinton emails that have surfaced. We certainly stand ready to cooperate if we are asked to do so, but we just don't have any additional details or information at this point. State Department spokesman Mark Toner told reporters, Hillary Clinton, those emails and the whiff of scandal that won't go away. All right, I mean, I'll leave the rest, that's enough. I didn't know this thing went on and on and on. Anyway, guys, this has been James from the Research Revolution. I'll leave the link below so you could finish the article. Love you guys.